A bill is a formal document produced during the legislative process, meant to meet specific constitutional and legislative requirements. Wading through the legalese of a bill is common practice for legislators, lobbyists, and staff, but it can be a confusing undertaking for those with only occasional interest in specific issues. Following is a short guide to help you navigate the formalities of legislation and better understand the language of a bill.
From the public's perspective, it's important to know that the bill contains lots of finding aids that will help you navigate through a particular bill. The best way to do it, obviously, is look at the first page of the bill. Something called the title is at the beginning, at the top of the bill. It'll be styled "A Bill for an Act Relating to," and then it will tell you the general subject of the bill. And then it will be followed by a very brief statement of the purpose of the bill, what's in the bill. And while that's a very good first step, people should not rely on the title alone to tell them what's in a bill. It's not a complete index to the bill, but it'll give you a pretty good idea of what's included in the bill. Usually the bill is organized into chunks of discrete material that relates to the rest of it. It's usually done by article numbers. If you look in a bill, the bill will be separated by articles. They're numbered consecutively, and usually after the article number there will be a brief catch-all. It's not part of the law, but it's an alert to the reader about the subject matter that follows. That's very helpful when looking through a big piece of legislation to find out what those general captions are. In each article then, the material is organized by bill section numbers, and they're presented sequentially. And as you march through the section numbers, you can see the areas of law that are amended. And again, there are finding aids there that will help you. They'll give you a little clue about the material. Every section of law that's being amended and any subdivision of law that's being amended will be followed by again, a catch-all. It's not part of the law, but it's helpful information for people, usually in bold, and it will give you a summary of what the material that follows relates to. And so simply by looking at the organization of the document and the editorial heads that are provided, you get a pretty good understanding of what's in the document. When you look at a bill, you will notice that there will be a series of numbers on the left-hand margin. There are two whole numbers, usually separated by a period. And the number to the left of the period indicates the page number that you're on. You can also look at the bottom of the page because each legislative bill has a page number there. But also there's a whole number to the right of the period, and that indicates the line number. So if you're following a debate in committee or on the floor and a member refers to a specific page or line number in the discussion, you can merely follow along through the bill, find the appropriate page and line number as listed in that margin, and you'll know exactly where they're talking about. There are other finding aids that you can use in conjunction with the page and line numbers. If you look at the bottom of a page in a bill, you'll not only see the page number, but on the left-hand lower corner, you will see a section number or sometimes an article in section number if the bill is divided into articles. That's a shorthand way for you to jump through material to get generally to the portion of the bill that you're talking about, and then you would use the page and line numbers to more narrowly focus your attention to the specific provisions that are being referred to. The convention that the legislature follows in proposing new language or removing or altering existing language follows a very definite pattern. Every time that new law is being proposed to be added, that material will be underscored. So that's a key. If you see underscored material, these are new proposals. Anytime an existing provision of law is to be removed from the law, you will see it stricken through. And again, because these are working documents, it's very important for everybody involved in the process to understand what those changes are. So in every version of the document that's worked on in either the Senate or the House, every time that body officially takes action on the bill by modifying it somehow, either by adding material or removing from it, that convention is followed so that those changes can be integrated into the bill and a new copy of the bill can be produced that reflects all the changes. And that's another important thing for the public to understand. Make sure that you have the correct version of the document, because again, these are working documents and sometimes you're looking at them as they're working their way through the process. It's important to understand that you have the latest version that the legislature is working off of. It's also important always to read the definition sections that usually begin at the beginning of a bill. It'll give you, again, a general sense of the terms that the legislature is using. Everything in the body of the bill is important. It's part of the law that either is being amended, proposed, or repealed. I'd also always look at the end of the document. The end of the document contains the administrative provisions, when the bill will be effective, how the bill or the law that's being proposed relates to existing law. Sometimes existing law is repealed. If you happen to be looking at a written copy of the document, sometimes all of the sections of law that are being repealed will be displayed there. Again, it's very useful also. So all of those things go into giving you an indication of what the bill is about without having to read a word for word the text of it. The legislature has a wealth of information that's available to the public. If you do not have internet access, the House Public Information Office, the Senate Information Office are wonderful resources to get copies of bills, to get information about the bill status, where the bill is, when it's being heard, where it is in the process. The Revisor's Office, we've talked a lot about why bills look the way they do. The Revisor's Office, by law, publishes a bill drafting manual that explains in more detail why bills look the way they do. I'd encourage people to call the Revisor's Office and maybe send a copy of the bill drafting manual.
The state legislature has many options to help guide you through the legislative process. These helpful websites and public information offices can assist you to find the specific information you need.